Hello guys, how are you doing today? It's a pleasure having you here. Yes, today is the 3rd of January, 2023. Happy New Year again to those that are just joining me on this channel of mine, CSA Forex, Common Sense Approach to Forex Trading. Today, I want us to have a quick look at the Bitcoin. Yes, we already know from last year, 2022, the crypto space was a bit ugly with respect to the tanking, the falling, and of course, with all the controversies, with all the bankruptcies, and a whole lot of other things in that area, right? Of course, this year, we're going to continue to have a look at what is happening and, of course, what should we be expecting. So that's why the Bitcoin will be a good one to look at, which is known as the father of all cryptos. Please, a quick disclaimer. Kindly note that this information we're giving you should be used as a form of education and not for signals. Very, very key, very, very important, right? So now let's dive into what we have right in front of us. If you look, this is the Bitcoin from the weekly, but let's start from the monthly. And yes, by the way, the dollar, the USD index, it's started its activities today, right? The 3rd of January. And if you look very well from the Asian session, from the kickoff, it blasted off. This is the daily time frame. So you can see that this candle, let me just zoom in a bit. You can see that this candle is extremely bullish for today. But look at what it has to face. It has this area of flip zone. Flip zone is an area that has acted as support and resistance before. You can see here resistance, resistance, support, 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 and resistance. So this will be a key area where it should as well push higher and then hit and then come back to this area of about 101, which happens to be a demand area. And yes, of course, we also still have some other key areas much lower, as you can see at about 99.30, and then also here at about 96.80 area. So the trajectory for the dollar, so far so good, is to continue what was happening towards the end of the year, which is a bearish move until proven otherwise. But let's jump back to our Bitcoin so that we don't take much of our time. We're just going to just run through this and we're going to do like summary of the time frame from the higher time frames to the lower time frames. This is the monthly, and if you look at the monthly over here, I'm going to show you quickly what we're expecting. Now, if you don't know me, I'm strictly price action, support, and resistance, right? So I'll be talking about support and resistance a lot, as that is what I use as a form of entry and also as a form of exit. Here you can see we have resistance here. We had a little support here when it came back to this place. Now it has broken to the downside. If it's going to pull back, then this area should act as resistance and then take us back here, right, to this area from the year 2018, thereabout, and that is around the 10K, 11K marker, right? So the trajectory, the directional bias for Bitcoin from the monthly time frame is still bearish until it breaks out of this side, right, to the upside, right? But for now, as long as price stays below, it is still very much bearish. And that is the monthly time frame for you. And if we drop down to the weekly, now things start to get interesting. When you're carrying or conducting your analysis, right, it starts to get more and more interesting by the time you are dropping down to lower time frames because more will be revealed to you. If you look at this weekly time frame, just zooming in a bit from the weekly, you can see these areas here that acted as a form of support, and then we had this falling wedge, as you can see. Now, if you look very well, please look at this very well. From this falling wedge, this big bearish candle, right, it broke to the downside. As it broke to the downside, look at what has happened. People might not see this, but I want to show you this carefully. It has come back to test this broken trend line. And then look at what we have here. We have this bearish pin bar, bearish hammer. meaning that the next thing we should have should be what? A follow through, at least to these lows here. And if it breaks, then we could have that 10K area that we mentioned from the monthly time frame. I don't know whether people are saying this, but this here is a very, very important area to pay attention to. You can see that I zoomed in so that we could see this broken wedge, this broken triangle based on this big bearish candle. Now, by the way, some of you might be looking at my charts and then be saying, why is the grain going down and why is the red candle going up? It's just colors. Do not pay attention to the colors, but rather pay attention to the direction. This is what I used to teach in my classes to explain to traders that pay attention to the direction and not the colors, because you can change the colors anyhow. You can use green and red in any way that you want. You can use black and white. You can use pink, purple, indigo, whatever color that you so pleased to do. So now look at what we have here. We just explained this from the weekly time frame, and then we're expecting it to go further down. You can see the monthly was pointing downwards, and then the weekly now is pointing downwards as well. You can see this was the major area of interest much a long time ago, this 16, 17K area from here. You can see what happened here as it messed it up, and then it is now below. So it is below. We're expecting further sells, and you can see what we have over here, the bearish pin. Now, dropping again to the daily. You know, so we're going to be dropping to time frames gradually. Dropping again to the daily, you can see how it has been moving lower and lower and how it has been building some key chart patterns. It has been dropping. Now look at what we have here, more chart patterns. You might not see chart patterns here, but let me show you this, right? This is a chart pattern. I'm just going to drag this here and then adjust this. You will just be able to see that we had a sort of flag over here. Can you see this? You had a flag here on the daily. So this flag here, you would have given your entry at this point here, right? Let me just drag this arrow down to show you as well. You have given your entry at this point over here. Even though towards the end of December, the market, the price was rather sluggish, but it knows what it is doing. That's one thing I want you to understand. No matter what happens in price, or what happens with price or to price, or anyhow you want to put it, trust me, it knows what it is doing. And anytime you have news that is about to come out, you know, the news strictly, for me, it acts as a catalyst, meaning that price already knows where it is going to. The news just helps it to move there much faster. So this is what we have from the daily time frame, as you can see from these 18,500 lows from last year. You can see now, um, um, now from this bearish flag, it's now looking down, but look at what we have here from these daily candles. You can see how thin they look, right? But trust me, something is building. This is what is building again. You can see from the 4 hours, we keep on dropping down in time frames. Why? To give us a better discounted entry. And as we have a better discounted entry, it simply means that the stop loss will be small, but then we're still targeting that take profit from like the monthly, weekly, daily time frames, which is absolutely amazing, if you ask me. And those are the kind of trades that you should be looking for. Do not stress yourself. Do not rush into have big trades. In the continuous videos that we're going to be doing, we're also going to be talking about intraday levels for those that are trading, you know, for the day. This ones we're doing now is a much higher time frame analysis. So you know you're going to be holding your trades for days. You're going to be more of a swing trader. I wouldn't really say position because you hardly find position traders out there that hold trades for like months or even years, right? Like the Warren Buffett of our time and the rest. So over here with the 4 hours time frame, you can see this is what we have over here. So hopefully this is what we see, and then it drops further down in this manner. This is the 4 hours time frame. Let's see whether we can drop one more time frame to get something discounted on the hourly time frame, and we're going to stop here. You can see we have a form of support here, resistance on the breakout. We have resistance, a whole bunch of resistance over here, as you can see, a whole bunch of resistance levels over here. That means that if the price for Bitcoin can push a bit higher, this should also act as resistance. And we obviously look for our trigger could be a bearish hammer, bearish engulfing or whatever, and then we see through to the downside, at least to the 16K lows, the all-time lows from last year. That was December, 19th of December. So always know how you're going to be looking at the market and exercise a lot of patience. Yesterday, I said, make sure that you have your trading plan to guide you on how to be looking at the market on a daily. So you don't rush. You can see I'm talking calmly because I know what I'm looking out for. And then I check at intervals. I'm not staring at the market. One thing you should also try to, do this year, try to adjust is your patience and your discipline. Very, very key, very, very important. It's going to help you. Check the market at intervals, do not stare at the market, conduct your analysis, conduct your research, based on your trading plan, follow it through, and then of course keep records, your trading journal, and then see how the year goes. Do not rush. Let the market come to you, and trust me, it is going to be an awesome year. Now I want to stop here. And I want to say thank you guys for joining me. It has been a good one. We just breezed through the Bitcoin from the monthly all the way down to the hourly just to show you what is possible for the crypto space. And that is more bearish moves and of course where to jump in for the Bitcoin. The Ethereum tends to follow suit when it comes to the Bitcoin's movement. So you could use that one to also as a gauge. If the Bitcoin moves first and the Ethereum hasn't moved, then you know the Ethereum too should also move to the downside as we are projected over here. Honestly, thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget, we'll be doing more and more videos to help everybody out, to help you to understand the market based on how I look at it, price action, support, and resistance. Please also note that my trading style is not the best and it's not the worst. It works for me. There is no best, there's no worst trading strategy out there. And that's why we always say it's not even about the strategy, but it's more about the psychology, the mindset of the trader, the attitude of the trader, and all psychology, right? So make sure to, do the needful and of course trade accordingly. And this year would be a fantastic one. Don't forget, you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. When we drop videos like this, whether it's during London session or early New York, you get it immediately, you watch it, you process it, you digest it, and then you use it to your advantage. And then also give the video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. And then you could also share. You have any questions, comments in the section below. And if you're interested in a one-on-one mentorship, also reach out and we could see what we could do for you. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day and God bless.